Hello and welcome to the Penno Channel for this match reaction to Aston Villa's 3-2 win over PSG in the Champions League last night in the quarterfinals. I'm joined by two people I couldn't think of any better to go through this one with. Unfortunately, on the night, Villa went out on aggregate 5-4 to PSG, but yeah, what a game it was. And I'm joined with my bro as always, and also TJ's back. Big up TJ, big up bro. How you both doing? And I can't wait to get into this one, man, because yeah, it was a madness.
Man, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, I got some. It's a good thing you're doing this at like less than 24 hours afterwards because the feelings are fresh. I feel like a lot of us have got some stuff to say.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
And you, bro, having
Well, I feel
sat.
proud. Well, I felt
Yeah.
proud. Like honestly, like I feel proud. That second half, like that was special. And when that third goal went in, like those were some of the best celebrations at Villa Park I've ever been involved in. As good as Bayern for me. So at least they won on the day and they made a fight of it because it was looking peak after that first half. So yeah, I'm proud, bro. Proud of Villa.
Yeah, I express your sentiment as well, bro. Just walking out of the game, I was like caught into two feelings of being proud but also disappointed at the same time because the opportunity that was there at the moment, who knows if we ever see that again? Who actually does know that? But then again, I got to witness Villa showing fight, and at a point where I thought the game was done. Um, Especially in that first half, I thought it was over at 2-0. But yeah, we'll get into this one and talk about it. But as always, if you could please like, also if you're new here, please do subscribe as well. And yeah, in the comment section, please drop your comments from last night and your thoughts and feelings as well, because we want to hear what you guys have to say as well. So definitely get those in there. There's a few of them here already. Mr. Green, as always, is joined. Thanks for joining. He says, yo, big up yourself. And also Michael. Thanks for joining, Michael. He says, gentlemen, what a night. What a night it was indeed. And yeah, I'm going to give you to the platform to start things off. Feelings going into it over having, losing 3-1 away at the Parc des Princes. What was your feelings before kick-off, the whole build-up as well? Expectations, were there any at all? TJ, yeah, how are you feeling going into this one?
Yeah, I'll be honest. Going into it, I had like blind faith, but deep down, I was like, I knew that we weren't going to go through, and like I really wanted to believe that we were going to go through. But deep down, I was just like, this PSG team. Not only are they just this good, but they're so much more well rested than us. Um, and I was just kind of looking into it, like looking at our back four especially. I didn't really like the Matty Cash and Luka Dean aspect of it as well. Not saying that they're awful players, but just coming up when you're coming up against players like Kvara, Doué, Barcola, I was like, because we are going to be a lot more forward thinking. I think we all knew that Unai Emery was going to be a lot more attacking. Obviously, that leaves a lot of space in behind. And just looking at Dean and Cash, they've got their pros, but I think some of their cons is when it comes to like one-on-one defending, it can look a bit sticky. I think Dean's gotten a lot better at one-on-one defending actually since Unai came in, but just from like an athletic standpoint, like if you're like, there was a lot of times where like, do you know what I mean? Dean would have been one-on-one with Barcola or Doué, and they did like nip past him. Do you know what I'm saying? So I went into it not, do you know what I mean? Not believing. I'll be honest. I did just kind of want us to put in a good fight, and then obviously it went to 2-0. I turned it off at 2-0, I'll be honest. I was like, I'm not watching this. Like, I've actually got better things to do in my evening. One of my group chats actually, we were just like, oh, should we just have a chinwag about something other than Villa? Because this is painful. And then I was like, do you know what? I was like, let's just put it back on. Like, just, do you know what I mean? Like, after I deeped it, I was like, we're not going to like lose 3 or 4-0, are we? Like, if anything, Unai will set up shop. And then obviously it goes 2-1. Then it went 2-2. The McGinn goal went in. And I was like, okay, like, we've actually got a game here. And then Rashford just did Rashford, didn't he? Like,
Yeah.
I remember. I obviously you guys were in the stadium. I was at home because I couldn't make it to the game. But watching it on TV, you knew what he was going to do before he even stood up Fabian Ruiz. Like you could see the space, and I was like, yeah, Fabian Ruiz and I think Vitinha. I was like, these are the two guys that you want like Rashford to be one-on-one against. And he got past that. And then one thing I feel like about Villa is how many chances do we get where a player has the opportunity to cut the ball back and for one reason or another, the pass either doesn't get there, or whoever shoots, they just whatever. And he's cut it back to Konsa, and I've gone, of all the people in this team that this ball could be cut back to, I did not want it to be Ezri Konsa. And then you forget that Ezri Konsa is just a baller in it.
Yeah.
Like, the guy just knows how to play football. Like, fair enough, he's a centre back, but like, I think, do you know what I mean? I wouldn't put it against Konsa if he could like operate as a CDM in some leagues. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, then it went to 3-2, and I was like, I believe. And then I think the game kind of, obviously we got the opportunities, there was big chances, but you could kind of feel from like 80th minute that PSG were going to hold on. So it was a good game, man. Like, it was a good game. It was exciting. Probably the most exciting Villa game that I've ever seen. I was upset I wasn't in the stadium, but then at the same time, like, I feel like watching it from like the TV, like, because I wasn't as immersed into the emotion of it. I think I really I appreciated the performance from the guys a lot more, because you just get to see like the tactical nuances and like the individual performances when you're watching on TV.
I can vouch for that, definitely, because my perspective from being in there was totally different. I think being immersed in it from that sense, you kind of, the tactical aspect gets taken away as such, because you're just watching just to go forward. You want Villa, you encourage you to like go on, and you kind of lose sight at times. You're distracted or stuff, obviously still celebrating in the adrenaline. So seeing it from a tactical standpoint, for me, not as much, nowhere near as much from watching it, for sure. But yeah, bro, you were there as well with me. Just the whole build up and going into it, yeah, and the game itself. What are your thoughts? Just lay them all out, man.
The game was mad because we started with intensity. Those 15 minutes, yeah, whenever you're at Villa Park, you know when the fans and the team are connected. And in those 15 minutes, the fans were egging Villa on every single attack we got, encouraging us to press, and they were making mistakes. So I kind of felt at first like if we didn't score in those first 15 minutes, I would be gutted, because I know what Champions League football's like. And like when the momentum's on your side, you have to score in them moments. And then PSG kind of like taught us a lesson first half in their counter-attacks. Like, if you don't take your chances, we will punish you, because the gaps you are leaving trying to press us will exploit. And I think we saw that with Mendes' goal as well. That came from us trying to press them. And obviously, who scored the first? Hakimi, the first goal and the counter-attack. So, yeah, at 2-0, I was thinking, it's going to be a long night. And then I always thought, like, if we get one goal and Tielemans gets it, it was a bit of luck on our part. And then the crowd just started getting behind us again, bro. And then that second half was just crazy, because McGinn, yeah, is one of the easiest assist Pau Torres is ever going to get. He literally just passes it to him in his own half. McGinn carries it up the pitch, and then what a finish. Like, someone said deflection. I don't care. That is not deflecting. Like, we're giving McGinn that goal. Like, look where we ran from with the ball. And then for what TJ said about Rashford, yeah, when we sit in the stadium, I didn't actually see that space that he could run into. Like, I knew he'd beat his man, but I didn't actually see the space that he could run into to cut back. But we've always said, man, cutbacks are the best way to score in football. Like, we always say we don't do it enough at Villa. And if you remember the Southampton game this weekend, Rashford actually nutmegged Cameron Archer, and he ran into the box and he tried to cut back for Konsa. He was there and he mistimed the pass. And this time he learned from his lesson, bro, because that pass was perfect. The finish from Konsa was so sick. And then, bro, when we made it 3-2, yeah, I'm looking at the clock. It's 59 minutes. Like, did we peak too early? Like, it's crazy. It's actually crazy. Like, I was like, there's so much time. There's so much time. And then you see Donnarumma just locked in and just started making ridiculous saves. Asensio's 1v1, like, that was the script. And then when that doesn't go in, you kind of think, is it going to be our night? But, yeah, man, I'm just proud that we've beat PSG. Outside of the first leg, we've beat PSG in this game. Our record at Villa Park now is crazy. It's like 1 loss in like 25 games. So a good way to look at it probably would just be like the momentum for the rest of the season is still there. Like, we didn't get battered last night. You know, that we leave that game with momentum still on our side and fans still backing the side. So yeah, just got to take that into the Premier League and FA Cup now.
Yeah, I want to start off with the initial opening to the game. I mean, we tried to really put it on them in the first 5-10 minutes. That's how it felt anyway. We had a corner. We went close from that. But I think the discrepancy and the difference was the fullbacks in those first 10, 15, 20 minutes and how clinical their players are. They had 2 shots from the 20 to the 27th minute, and both of them were the goals. the Hakimi finish is a joke, and the Nuno Mendes finish as well was ridiculous. And
He
we went
did it on
toe
a
to
half volley.
it was
Sorry.
yeah,
No,
TJ, the finish was a joke. It was an absolute joke. The touch and just to finish it like that and put it bottom corner in off the post was like, that just shows you the level that you're up against.
Levels.
Like, there's
levels,
I don't think
man.
there's many fullbacks in world football that can do that. I don't think there are any. Maybe a Trent or some, but that's about it. That technically good. So when you're playing against a side and you're trying to go at it and you're trying to, show impetus, and I think we did that. We really tried to, but they're just so devastating, man. And to have only 2 shots and score 2 goals and catch us out like that, it really did feel disheartening at the time. And I think this just gives it all the more reason to feel so proud because of the level of opposition and how we went toe to toe. And with Luis Enrique's comments about him saying a team's never dominated his team like that. That, what can you say from that? That's just like, yeah.
Bro, do you know what it is, right? Like, how many managers have come away from like getting boxed by Villa? Arteta, Pep Guardiola, now Luis Enrique. Then they've come into their press conferences and they've just been honest. They've been like, do you know what I mean? I've never seen anything like that. Like, I know everyone is like bigging up Unai Emery, but like, I think like we need to truly appreciate that. Like, I think for the first time since I've been watching Villa, we've got a manager that can go toe to toe with the best coaches in the world tactically. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you look at like Martin O'Neill, for example, I thought Martin O'Neill was good, but it's very clear that he was more of a motivator than a tactician. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, he was a 4-4-2 guy, weren't he? And then you just like you get down the byline, get down the channel, and you whip the ball in for a cross. Like,
do you know what I'm saying?
That was his thing.
Milner and Ashley Young,
yeah,
they're going to put in a good ball, and then we've got John Carew, and then do you know what I mean? Who's going to head it in, or we've got a Bonhall who can run the channels. Do you know what I mean? Like that was it. Yeah. But then, like, one thing I deep last night is that Unai Emery has got so many different like styles and tactics and just ways to play. And I remember when like Unai first joined, and people were saying he's obsessed with football. He's a. Do you know what I mean? Like he's a bit psychotic with like the amount of research that he does. If you're Unai Emery, you look back at that first leg and you go, my game plan worked. They had to score mad goals to score against us. Do you know what I mean? Even that third goal, even after those 2 goals, Unai Emery's probably walking away from that 2-1 being like, my game plan still works because we're within 1 goal. And then you get to the second leg, and then again, they score 2 goals against a run of play. The first one, preventable. Martinez, like, I think a lot of people didn't see this because I was watching on TV. You can see Powell, like, he does say something.
Is it a communication thing then? Does Martinez shout for him to leave? Does he shout for him to leave? Because he looked, from the way I've interpreted it on the highlights, is Martinez shouts for Powell to leave because Powell literally pulls his foot back as Martinez comes. And then I don't know if Martinez like mistimed the pace of the ball of the cross.
I think what it was Powell shouted first. Powell was like, obviously, like, in that position, I don't know what Emery says, but like, a lot of coaches will be like, defender gets the ball first. We would much rather concede a corner than risk what Martinez basically did. And I think Powell says something, and then Martinez clocks that there's no actual like runner coming in to the box. So then he's gone, oh, I've got. And then I think both of them have just basically, do you know what I mean, just panicked at the same time. But that goal's preventable. Then the second one, again, it's against a run of play. Like, if you're a tactical analyst, you're looking at that goal, you're going, boys, there is only 2 or 3 left backs in the world that are scoring that. I did like for you guys to let him shoot, fairs, because do you know what I mean? Like, that's just muscle memory, innit? If you see a left back gonna go strike a ball on a half volley, you're gonna let him shoot every single time. Then you clock it's Nuno Mendes, and then you're like, okay, like whatever. So I think Emery, tactically, his game plans did work. And then even after his game plans have worked, and then the luck has gone against him, we've still managed to score 4 goals across the 2 legs against PSG. Like 4 goals.
Yeah,
like,
it's mental.
You guys are
like these that haven't conceded 3 goals in a game in about like 51 games. I think it was ridiculous that I read or something.
Do you know what I mean?
Like that. Like they hadn't conceded 3. And sorry, just to touch on that second goal that we conceded, we went man-to-man press for that. Emery was just like, you know what, we're going for it. Like we man-to-man pressed that when we conceded that goal, and we nearly got the advantage. We nearly took the ball off them. And I just thought he was so brave to try it in that moment. Like normally I thought Emery would be a bit more cautious later on, and whatever, we conceded 2 goals, but I liked that approach. You know, like he wasn't cautious for like the whole first half, even though we conceded early.
It was like, it was slightly taking a page out of the Ange Postecoglou book, innit? Because like that's how Spurs just play all the time.
That's how Spurs play,
Like,
yeah, with the mental, yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So it was like a bit like Ange Postecoglou, like where it was a bit like, all right, cool, let's just try and get the ball back. Not really. Obviously, in football, like there's phases, there's many phases throughout the game. So I feel like with Emery, he was like, I don't want to do phases. I just want us to get the ball back as quickly as possible. But just like watching it on TV, that second half, like we made them look silly. Like we actually made them look silly.
Yeah, facts, bro. Facts, genuinely. And yeah, what did you think about the way our first goal came then? The way that we worked that ball, we picked it up centrally, and he was like, nice link-up play between Rashford, McGinn, and for Tielemans to get his cold effort. Bit of fortunate luck with it, but yeah, what do you think of our football for that goal?
I feel like that's what we know that we can do. Like we know that we've got the players and like we've got like just like the positional structure to be able to pull off something like that. And again, like I think this is where we see the levels, is that those ideas are always there. Like we can always see that in games like against Southampton, whether it's against Palace, whether it's against United, we can see these pockets and these kind of situations happening. But it feels like it just never comes off, a bit like the Konsa goal as well. But
yeah,
in terms of like that goal, I just looked at it and I was like, that's what we can actually do when maybe we're slightly more motivated, because obviously like you will try and do those things like when you're trying to win a game, but also when things like actually pay off. And I think in football, I think a lot of people talk about luck when they talk about deflections and things like that. But luck is also being able to make 4 really intricate passes like within a very tight zone. So when Tielemans takes that shot, I think we've just built up all the luck that we can to like actually get that goal. But as soon as that goal went in, that's when I was like, okay, cool. Like we are actually back in this.
Yeah, facts. I'm gonna go through some comments here quickly.
Cool.
Gary says, seems we overrated PSG. They deserve to go through, but so proud of the lads. You know what? Yeah, when I was seeing Vitinha miscontrol the ball in the second half, halfway through that game, I kind of clocked. PSG are a small club, you know, in terms of like their stature. Bro, they are not a historic football club like Madrid, Barca. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like Bayern Munich. Like,
yeah.
If you look at even at their fan celebrations at like them losing to Villa, like they're going mental in Paris, and like the relief is massive. Like they're not condemning their side. They're just like, you know what, this is what we do, but we've survived. Like they're not like that far away from us mentality. What do you get what I'm saying? Like
that's such a good point, man.
Well, I was seeing their players crumble in the second half, and part of me was like, oh my god, have we shown too much respect to these guys throughout the tire? Like that's generally how I felt. So I kind of get what Gary's saying, and maybe we did overrate them in a sense of like, obviously they got star quality, but in terms of like their ability to bottle it is quite high. Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
oh, bro, like that's. Imagine you're a PSG fan and you see us go 3-2. You're having flashbacks of the remontada. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like you're like, now we're actually about to do it again, and this time to Aston Villa, and that's what a lot of people forget. I think Paris Saint-Germain, they were founded in what, 1973?
Yeah. When they first joined, when they properly joined.
Do you know what I'm saying? And then like even before that, like I don't know if any PSG fans are watching this, but if they are, then we're definitely getting some comments. But like,
oh yeah, we're getting clipped.
Marseille and Lyon are the 2 big clubs in France. Do you know what I'm saying? PSG, like I've got obviously like got like a big following, and they got a lot of people behind them. But Marseille and Lyon, like, do you know what I'm saying? Like those are like the United, the Liverpool. So like, I think we did like overrate them a bit. I think, but I also think from like a player's perspective, like we've all played football in it. We've all come up against a team where you stand there and you're like, I could try as hard as I could, like I can right now. I'm like, we're still not going to beat you. Like your individual talents are just there. And I think because of the game plan in the first leg, because we were very passive, it just allowed PSG to just like flex. Do you know what I'm saying? And coming into that second leg, I'm not surprised that like you could tell that Matty Cash was fired up, man. Like you could tell that he was like, I'm not letting you guys do this to me. I'm not getting subbed off at halftime, innit?
Yeah, facts. because Matty Cash improved. He improved in the second half. Big up to him because he was struggling in the first half, I thought, because their first goal comes from Barcola on his side. And he's out of position. He's kind of pushed up. I'm not sure if he's pushed up too high or he's too low, but he was not in line with the back four. But yeah, he improved second half, Matty Cash, to be fair to him. So
100.
I'm just going to go through some more comments. Mr. Green says Rashford went mad when we conceded the second goal. Michael says, I will say this, and I'm not joking. I hope yesterday will inspire. Yeah, I think you're getting feedback, bro. You're getting feedback, bro, from when you join there. I think it's good now. Okay. I will say this, and I'm not joking. I hope yesterday will inspire the team of what we can do if we believe in ourselves. Next season, we'll be on a title run. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. Hey,
talk that talk, Michael. Talk that talk.
Yeah.
Put it out
talk
there,
that talk.
Duncan says, fantastic performance second half from the lads. Their keeper won it from fact. Donnarumma, man, what is up with this guy? Just like locked in and just decided just to like save PSG. Like, what's going on?
He's
supposed to throw the ball in the back of his net, man. He plays for PSG. Like, that's what PSG do. Like,
Bro, Donnarumma, if he played in like the 90s and 2000s, we'd be talking about him like he's the greatest keeper of all time. When it comes to pure shot stopping, like when it comes to stood in the goal, like he's the best. It's just that he's got a bozo gene in it, and like he will whatever. But like if you fire shots at him, he's just going to turn into Buffon in it.
It's mad that he's still 25, isn't he? He's still like young for
landed on the scene when he was 16, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy. Mr. Green says, "Why did we sub off Rashford?" Do you want to get into this now, or what are your thoughts on? Well, I'll go with you first. Like, what was your thoughts on the Rashford sub? Can we criticize Emery with the way we played, or is there like room to be like, okay, you might have got that substitution wrong?
I think the McGinn and the Rashford subs at the game state at the time, I questioned them. The McGinn sub came earlier, I think, as part with Ramsey coming on, and was it Onana going off as well, and then Rashford happened later on. The McGinn one first, I thought just the impact he was having. I know he was on a booking as well, but it just felt like he was carrying the team, like carrying us on his back. And I thought we'd potentially lose momentum with that. I don't think we did as such, because then after that point we had the Asensio chance as well. I think we had another chance in that period. But yeah, the Rashford one, it's tough, man, because obviously when Rashford's playing like that, there is no one better. Like, his level and the level he can operate at when he's at his best, there's not many players in the world that are better with him. And I think that at that point in the second half, he'd got to that level where he was like, okay, this is world-class Marcus Rashford now. He's causing them problems. They do not know what to do with him. He's finding the pockets, he's turning. That run when he cut inside and he struck that shot against Donnarumma, it was just like, yo, he's here. He's arrived. Yeah, he's arrived now. This is it. So again, like, I did think that at the time, but who are we? Who do we know? Like, was he getting tired at that point? Had Emery got other plans for him coming up with the games going on? But I think in that moment, in that state, I was like, I did question it. I was just like, I didn't think he should have come off.
I'll be honest. I feel like I'm the only one that was like, that Rashford substitution made so much sense. I feel like PSG, like, when that third goal went in, they compressed. Like Enrique said to Mendes and Hakimi, he was like, if you keep leaving space open, like, these guys are on fire now. Stop giving them chances, because we were getting a lot of chances, remember? So they compressed, which obviously meant that Rashford was going to get a lot less space in behind. Pacho and Marquinhos, they dropped 5 yards because they didn't like you saw that Asensio chance, innit? Like, they didn't want that to keep happening. I think that even came after Rashford came off, but you could tell in the final 15 minutes, Enrique was like, shut up shop. We're going full counter-attack now. So when that happened, the thing about Rashford is he was world-class last night. However, it was in isolation, if you know what I mean. It was in isolated moments. Yeah. It didn't come through things like, it didn't come through build-up. It would come from a ball over the top. It would come through, do you know what I mean, like a ball in the channel. When the other team closes off those channels and closes off those balls over the top, that's when you need to bring on a player like Ollie Watkins, who can play with his back to goal, because they're now going to make you face away from goal. So I understood it. I don't, maybe, like, obviously, like, who am I in it? Like, I got my UEFA C, guys. Like I'm not Unai Emery. So like
That's better than me, bro.
Wait,
That's better than me, bro. You got a qualification.
Hey, you kept that quiet, man. You kept that quiet,
bro.
bro.
Come on. You ain't
Nah, man.
UEFA soon come.
I'd flex that as well all the time.
Soon come. But now, like obviously, like I kind of saw where Emery was coming from with that change, because I was like, yeah, if it does get a bit more tight and it gets a bit more difficult to create opportunities, you don't want Rashford in that game. You want Ollie Watkins, who can receive the ball, play a 1-2, get a snapshot off. But I just need to say,
I was just going to say, from that's perspectives again, like as I said, because being there and being so in it at the moment, Rashford at that point is the guy. He's looking like the man on the pitch, isn't it? So where you're watching it and you've seen like more of the games that and the overall tactical aspect and what Enrique has potentially done, I can say I wasn't seeing that at all. I was just seeing Marcus Rashford getting on the ball, and he's doing bits at the moment. And yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
For me,
I think
it's like the argument between like art and logic, isn't it? So like you think what you've said there is solid reasoning, TJ. Like you spoke about them being compressed. You're talking about spaces. The logic is Ollie Watkins. And then it's first the art form of Rashford is cooking these guys. There's fear in these PSG guys' players. They're scared of Rashford. Is there a sense of relief on their part where he gets substituted and then they're like, okay, we don't have to deal with this guy anymore? We cool. Watkins is coming out as long as it's someone other than Marcus Rashford, you know, because he was cooking them and he was putting the fear of God into their players and like taking that out. Like, was there a possibility Watkins and Rashford could have remained on the field? Could have that been a alternative? That way you keep Rashford on, and then if they do compress and later on you take Rashford off, that would make sense. But yeah, Rashford yesterday, he's so interesting because I saw him getting a lot of slander at half time, and I understand why, because he's being wasteful. But then at the same time, I don't think you take your outlet off the pitch at any point because you just know like something can happen with Rashford. Like that's just the type of player he is. So yeah,
he's an isolation player, isn't he? Like I think that comes like that brings up the next question of would I keep Rashford? I think there's a reason why Rashford, like when he was good at United, he was amazing, because United are an isolation team, aren't they? Like United aren't like since Fergie left, even when Fergie was there, United weren't going to beat you from like playing out from the back, connecting passes. United were going to beat you by finding space, finding open channels, and just killing you. And like when Rashford is good, and when he's afforded the space to do that, that's why he hit under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was like, as long as we don't concede too many goals, I've got the players to. Do you know what I mean? He's a motivator. And so when I looked at Rashford last night, that like when you get Rashford in isolation moments, insane. But then on the other side, in the first half, when you don't get Rashford in isolation moments, then that's what it can tend to look like. But are you keeping him?
It's just little things with Rashford, isn't it? Like he'll try and do a nutmegs where he should probably shoot first time in that first half, where you think, oh, that's so frustrating because we know you can. Is the one thing Rashford can do is strike a football. Like we saw it second half with that chance against Donnarumma. Me and you were talking about it earlier. He can strike through a football with crazy power and speed. So sometimes when you see him try and get that extra touch, when you think, oh, Rashford just shoot, that can be frustrating. But I didn't think I don't think it warranted him being taken off at half time. That was some of the shouts I was seeing, like get Rashford off. So yeah,
nah. If he got taken off at half time,
you'd be questioning that. Yeah, I'm going to go through some more comments quickly. Gary says, can't fault anyone except for Emmy. He looked nervous, which is not like him, especially in the first half. Duncan says, that save from Tielemans' header was just wrong. That save was ridiculous. That save was at 3-2 as well. Michael says, my son's in Rio. I'm assuming Rio, Brazil, and he has converted some of the locals to Villa. It's a shame. We got no Brazilian players that you can just say Doggy used to
point to anymore.
Yeah. Doggy used to play for us. You just got to rock that line, innit? And he hasn't been the same outside of Villa. That's what you go with, I think.
He regressed, man.
Tell him about Wesley as well.
Wesley the preacher, by the way. Wesley's a preacher now. We got Wesley.
Big up Wesley.
Look what Ben Mee did to my turn him. Lord says, did Rashford actually say this is a shit team? To be honest, I haven't seen a clip. I thought it was just like a TikTok joke kind of thing, but yeah, I don't know. Gary says, nothing but praise and respect all over social media for Villa, which is what I wanted, especially if we went out. Michael says, PSG have amazing players. Bendick says, this was the best way to go out. Villa completed. Stay on your feet pod said, Villa very unlucky. And we'll go through one more comment here. Duncan says, Tielemans is the big man for the big occasion. Also, McGinn's best ever game. I think that's the perfect segue for you, TJ, to talk about.
I was just going to say, yep.
Your favourite player of all time?
My favourite player of all time. I will be the first to say, I don't think McGinn has had a good season. I think we're starting to see a bit of age in his legs now these days. And I think now because he can't get about the pitch as well as he would have 2-3 years ago, because we have to remember the guy's just been playing football basically for the best part of 3 years, because it's basically been Villa, Scotland, Villa, Scotland, Villa, Scotland. And I think we're seeing a bit of age in his legs. But McGinn's got this thing called bulldog mode, and we used to see it way more. And last night, he just turned it on fully. It's why he my favorite Villa player of all time could so easily be James Milner, Agbon Lahore, Duran is a good shout, Ashley Young. But them guys were good. Do you know what I mean by that? Them guys were supposed to be good at football. With Ashley Young, he could score. He can basically score from anywhere within 30 yards of the goal. He is a very good baller. James Milner, very good footballer. But John McGinn, he was at Hibernian. We signed him for £2 million when we're in the Championship, and we've had to do it early so Celtic don't come in. Because realistically, the reason he joined Villa is because he knew he was going to be riding the bench for Celtic at the time. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we signed this guy for £2 million. He's come in. He's been one of the focal points to us getting promoted. And then when we've gone to the Premier League, he's one of the players where you look at who was that Nordic midfielder that we had that we came up with?
Bjarnason.
Yeah. Bjarnason was cold in the Championship, but as soon as you go to the Prem, you're like, this guy doesn't have the minerals. He's it's not whatever. McGinn was the same type of player. Then he's been one of the focal points for our first season. Then obviously Gerrard's come in. He's given him the captaincy. You can see McGinn was a bit I didn't really want that, but you know what? Fine, I'll do what's best for the team. And then Unai Emery's come in, and people need to remember, Unai Emery is a Spanish manager when it comes to his flair and the kind of the way that he wants the team to play, but not his fundamentals. Unai Emery is a British manager when it comes to the pure fundamentals.
Fundamentals are pretty, very British.
He wants a 4-4-2. He wants strong, athletic. Do you know what I'm saying? So when you can just tell Unai Emery going into that first training session, looking at McGinn, just basically almost tearing ACLs out there when we got a game on Saturday, and Unai Emery is this is exactly what I need. And he's why have we been playing you centre mid? I want to put you out on the wing where you can get in isolation against fullbacks that are smaller than you and less tenacious, and wingers that are smaller than you and less tenacious. And then and that's the thing with McGinn, once he goes past one player, you're he could go past five.
Yeah.
I can't describe it.
That's why I actually at the start, when Emery came in, so just to get this point on, I did predict Emery would probably like him. One, because Emery loves to play 4 CMs in midfield sometimes. He's got no issues with playing a recognised centre mid out wide on talking the touchline. That's basics. That's food and drink for Emery. And Emery loves talking about attacking spaces. And if you play the ball into McGinn and he manages to turn and beat the press and play a quick pass for his strikers that are always going to be making runs every single time, he will like you as a player. And I just think last night with McGinn, we saw the best of McGinn. And if he played like that every week, he would not be at Aston Villa. That's the frustrating thing, isn't it? That's the frustrating thing. It's the consistency with McGinn. He can go games where he's just thinking, how's this guy starting for Aston Villa? And then he plays like that last night. And then you just okay, I understand. He had to start both games against PSG for his ability to beat a press, for his ability to get on the pitch, put a tackle in. He left one on Kvaratskhelia in the first half or second half. That was cool. I liked that a lot. I didn't even care that he got booked. Just let Kvaratskhelia. He was a ghost last night, by the way. I forgot he was on the pitch until I seen a picture of him time that he was on the pitch, Kvaratskhelia. But yeah.
McGinn, honestly,
he balled out yesterday. I can't lie. We balled out last night.
he's that one guy that like I always want to take into a fight when it comes to the European stage, because you're gonna have elite managers like Luis Enrique going, what is that?
Yeah.
Like what? Like you're not technically gifted. You're not physically gifted. You're not tall. You're not massive. You can't dribble very well. McGinn can only use one foot. You're not the best when it comes to passing. So how are you doing this to my team? Do you know what I mean? And I think when it's all like, I will say to my grandkids, I'll be like, McGinn was not even in the top 10 best football players for Aston Villa, but he was in the top 10 players because he just used to make stuff happen. And he was such a unique profile of player that you always second guess leaving him on the bench, because you're like, if McGinn plays to his ceiling, then he's going to score a 25-yard screamer against PSG, against Gianluigi Donnarumma, after literally picking the ball up from his own half. Like, that's going to go down as one of that's Champions League are going to be posting that goal for the next few years, like they do with the Neymar and CR7 ones. And it's just like, this Don was £2 million from Hibernian, and he literally can't use his right foot. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's why he's my favourite in it. Like,
it draws on, when you're drawing on the comparisons with Manchester United under Ferguson and Emery as well. I remember Ferguson, and there was reports and stuff, and I think there was some truth to it in him like saying to United, sign John McGinn, because I think that type of player and profile is just synonymous with both these managers as well. That just tenacity to win, to try and do everything he can for his team, whether it's defensively, on the ball, dribbling the ball. John McGinn can take on 5 men. We've seen it times in seasons where he's ran from one side of the pitch to the other to make sure they don't get the ball in the last few seconds of a game. Like, he just does things and you're like, how does he do it? It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So, yeah, his performance last night that's written into folklore for me. That
bro,
because
can we stop calling him John McGinn? And like, just because he's all, I think we're almost at the end of his tenure now, because as much as I really, really love him, next season we need to, like, just to make sure that he can play for as long as possible, and like, we're not just exposing him to a tactical system that's now developing and where he's in the team all the time. I don't think that's going to be good for him. I think he does need to get less minutes next season. I think we need to prioritise getting someone that can challenge him in that position. But can we just call him JM7?
JM7.
He deserves a nickname. He's a one. He's like, obviously people call him McGinn. I ain't calling him McGinn. That's a mouthful. Meatball. I'm going to start calling him JM7, man, because I think if that guy's done anything, he has deserved a cold nickname.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, what you doing rocking a number 7 as well, man? Like, you can imagine him coming into his first day of Villa.
No one's been able to take that off him, yeah.
Nah.
And if he leads us to a trophy this year, which is very possible, I mean, that's it.
If I see John McGinn
lift the FA Cup, like,
I will be in bits, bro. Like, I will genuinely be in absolute bits.
It's mad. It's mad that the possibilities, even after witnessing that last night, the possibilities of this season, and
if we play like that against
Palace,
bro, if we play like that against Palace, bro, we'll win 4-0 at Wembley as well. Palace haven't got that XP. Palace can beat us at Selhurst. They can beat us at Villa Park. If we play like that, just the fact that we're playing at Wembley, I know will inspire our guys to play like that, because if we were playing Palace at Villa Park, I feel like we wouldn't be as kind of desperate to whatever. So if we play against Palace, not with that tactical system, but just with that level of need to get a result, we will wipe the floor with Crystal Palace. I don't care.
Yeah. And I just want to touch on. Go on, carry on, bro.
No, I was just going to say that's a great point, TJ. And I think if we can take that level through these last 7-8 games of the season, I think it's hard to touch us. But it's just, that's the thing now. Can you maintain that? Can you keep that standard? Which is always going to be difficult. Obviously, energy saps from a performance like that. But if they can just try and keep that sustained for as long as possible in these last 8 games, then who knows what can happen, man.
Yeah, I do think after last night, like, we've shown the level, we've shown our ceiling for the level of performance we can give in a given 90 minutes. To beat Bayern Munich and now PSG in the same season should have beaten Juventus as well, if not for a robbery in the last minute. Like, we've shown levels this season. Emery has now seen the level our players can rise to with his tactical system, like how far he can push our players, and with our squad that we've got now. And I just think, man, for us to put on that type of performance, if we don't represent it with a trophy this season, like, I think it's going to be so gutting, because I really think these players need a taste of winning club trophy, domestic trophies. I think it's the missing ingredient. I don't think they've got that taste for it. Like, I listened to Jacob Murphy the other day talking about in training, everyone's forgot about the League Cup. They just want the next one now.
Yeah.
Are we missing that? Like, are we missing that drive, like that final part where if we win an FA Cup, the mentality and the appetite that it's going to give our players going into next season as well, and that winning pedigree, I think it's the missing key, bro. And I just think like this era that we've experienced under Emery, it has to be rubber stamped with a trophy to really signify. Like, of course, we've enjoyed these moments, and we enjoyed last night, and we've enjoyed playing Premier League, but I think you really have to represent it with some kind of silverware. And I don't think we're going to get a better opportunity than the FA Cup. It's 2 games, one's against Palace, the final potentially against City or Forest. Like, this really is the time now just to win a cup, man. And I think it will be one of the best seasons easily if we win a cup.
Are you guys on the same level as me, where you'd rather play City than Forest?
No. I think Forest is their dark magic's kind of run out a bit now, isn't it? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just in terms of game state, though, I was like, Forest are a worse team in it. But in terms of game state, I would much rather see us come up against a team that is actually going to attack us than a team that isn't. I don't know. Maybe I'm being silly in it. Maybe I'm ready.
I think the City's been there like how many times, and when it gets to that stage,
they got
on a one-off game. Yeah,
we saw what happened last season in the FA Cup final, though, innit?
That's true.
But United have got deep law muscle memory, innit? Like that's United. Like, I think they're like the one club that, bro, in like 190 minutes, like they just channel something, and I don't know what Fergie's in the stand.
Yeah. It's because they've got. It's because when you strip back United's incredibly large bozo gene, they've got world-class players in it. Like, like if you've got like players like Maguire. Go on, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I think before KDB announced his announced he's leaving City, I was content to face City, but I just think I hate that narrative now. I just hate that narrative so much of like their players winning a trophy for De Bruyne. So I hope Forest not come out so we don't even.
I'll just go back to hold on to Gerrard doing the same thing, and we managed to do them in the semi-final the last time. So maybe, it's just maintaining that level of performance. That's the big thing for me now. I think we have the squad to do it, and like players like Marlon and Garcia now must be itching to play, like coming back into it, like Champions League football. It's done now for this season. They can play every game and they're viable for it. And when, especially Darnell Marlon, when he's shown glimpses of coming on, he's bad goals. And Andres Garcia, I think he just keeps improving and getting better and better as well. And they're to come back into the squad. So like we can use the squad. We can really use it now and get at teams in so many ways.
That's another crazy thing that I clocked last night. This is the first time in a big game where I've been like, having Leon Bailey would have been nice. I didn't think about Leon Bailey until this morning. I completely forgot. Like, I'm being so real. Like,
No, I agree. Yeah, I actually thought he was going to come on just to give us a wide. I actually thought he was going to come on. Yeah, he's on the bench, wasn't he?
Yeah. I think Leon.
Yeah, I genuinely thought he was going to come in.
Leon Bailey versus Nuno Mendes is that's like I don't like that matchup because. But if you're Bailey, you have to go machine for machine in it. Like you're not an Asensio or a Rodgers where you can get it. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't think Bailey had the minerals to whatever. But like even just so, like I forgot about when Ross Barkley came on the pitch. I went, oh yeah, we employ you. That's how crazy our squad depth is. Do you know what I mean? Like Barkley. Like we didn't have obviously Barkley came off the bench. We didn't play Bailey. We didn't play Garcia. We didn't play Marlon.
Disassi sat on there.
Disassi sat on it. Bro, Disassi was. I know for a fact Unai Emery went to Disassi at her full-time part of the fronts. He was like, bro, I appreciate your effort. you will never play in the Champions League in an Aston Villa kit ever again. But I appreciate the effort, approach. And I was like, that this actually just doesn't fit in that matchup at all. Tried to put him in at right back. If Cash doesn't get yellow carded in that first leg, I don't think we see Disassi in that game. I do very want to quickly say as well, Jacob Ramsey, I need you to come and get your chain back, please. Jacob, please, because they will ship you off. They will do it. Your value is still justified. If you don't come and do a madness for the next 8 games or in pre-season, bro, you're being offered to Tottenham. I'm sorry. Because if you look at it from an FFP perspective, PSR perspective, if I'm Unai Emery, and I'm just going to be real, if I'm Unai Emery, I'm looking at Jacob Ramsey and I'm going, what, you could get us 50 mil in pure profit? Safe. Do you know what I mean? Safe. Like, what? That's the peak thing about football these days, and it's another issue for another day, isn't it? But because of PSR, I look at players like Jacob Ramsey completely differently. I'm like, you're an academy prospect, and you haven't really done much in the past 2 years to really like encapsulate the fan base, which is fine because that's like, do you know what I mean? But in a world of PSR, where we know your potential, but we're not being able to get that out of you for one reason or another, maybe you're being played out of position. Maybe, like, obviously he's had like a long history record. We know that a team like Chelsea, if you go, we'll take 50 mil for Jacob Ramsey, they'll go, let's talk.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And if that means that we can then go and buy, because think about that, 50 mil of Jacob Ramsey, let's say we put 40 mil of that back into a transfer market. If you think about amortization, that's 3 or 4 players.
Yeah, it is.
That's 3 or 4 very good players as well.
You're spot on with that, and I think it's as you said, it's a shame you have to look at the squad like that these days, but you have to look at your assets and see where you can move, because if you want to build, say if we do qualify for Champions League again, and want to fight on all fronts again, you have to look at building and getting in players who can improve not just the squad but the first 11 as well. And you look at assets where you can, and someone who's English, come through the academy, that sticks out as someone. So I agree with Jacob Ramsey. I just think there is another level. There is another level. It's just a shame we're not seeing it yet. We've seen glimpses of it over the years, of course we have, and he's had times where he's been unbelievable and he's been on a run. But it's just like, Jacob, just go to the next step.
I don't know. I don't know if it's the injuries, but like even last night, I don't know how you guys felt in the stadium. When he came on, I was like, bro, you are stinking up the place. And not in terms of he was getting stuff wrong.
Where we were sitting, there was a feeling of, come on, Ramsey, like, get into the game. He was similar with Matson a bit as well when he came on. Like, it takes you time to get your rhythm, and I felt like it was happening to them extra with Ramsey and Matson, where we were on like the front foot before they came on, and we kind of needed them to like adapt quicker to like kind of like match the energy that the fans were giving at that time. And there was a bit of like, okay, wakey. Obviously, he had that chance at the end. Can't really remember Ramsey's performance after that too much, but I do remember when he came on, it was a bit like, okay, come on,
get into the game.
But I think that feeling was with Asensio as well. Like after that chance, with a fantastic pass from Pau Torres. Like, this guy's, I see mixed like opinions on Pau Torres' performance. Obviously, the first goal, some people are blaming him. But then other people are saying his passing was like incredible in the build-up phase. Like, I don't know how you saw it on TV. I'd have to look at the game back. But that pass to Asensio from Pau Torres is a joke. Like, how many players did he get past there with one pass? He was in his own half.
I remember Pau Torres' second half just starting to ball out, just on the ball.
Yeah.
He was playing passes through the lines that you couldn't see. Like, they were that good. He was just seeing a different picture at times, and I remember he was playing some ball. I was just like, yeah, okay, Pal's balling out now. This is what we miss when he's not playing. Just that defender who can just play the ball.
Bro, I was seeing Ming shouts. I was seeing Tyrone Ming shouts. I was like, you want to attack PSG, the best team in the world, and you want to start your build-up with Tyrone Mings. I don't have anything against Tyrone Mings, but come on now. Tyrone Mings, when it comes to building up from the back, Pau Torres. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're talking about a guy who, until Pau 2.0 in Kabassi came, he was one of the do you know what I mean? He was in contention to start for Spain, like
He
one
was
of
starting,
like
yeah,
the
he was,
current.
he was around, yeah.
So like Pau Torres's ball was nuts. I need to give like so much, like one player that impressed me so much, and just outside of the goal, Ezri Konsa. That I have seen ever since he started getting consistent England minutes. I've seen him go up a level. Like just in terms of like his confidence, he's way more confident. He's way more calm as well. Because Konsa used to be a bit of a crash out, and like, do you know what I mean? Like he used to get like a bit, like not crash out, but he loved to sulk, didn't he? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and like just like the way that he holds the ball, the way that he baits the press. Like when Konsa's on the ball, I never panic. And if he does make a mistake, I'm always like, well, you're not going to make a mistake in your next 1,000 touches. So like it doesn't. Do you know what I mean? And like he's not the fastest. When he is like 1-on-1 running back towards his goal, I am like, they're probably going to get a shot off here. But just in terms of like being an all-round centre back, I don't think it's crazy to say that he's one of the best centre backs in the league. He's way better than man like Gehi, Dan Burn.
He's better than Gay.
He's the best English centre back right now. I don't think that's outrageous.
I'd have to wait.
I think
who the options again? Who the options?
Well, Maguire. Okay, in terms of like, so Maguire, Stones, Gehi, Burn, Branthwaite,
Tomori.
He's
just hiding in Syria. Go watch a Tomori game. You'll be like, I see why he doesn't start for England.
Yeah. I don't think that's crazy to say, especially Konsa playing in Champions League quarter-final. Like that's not mad to say. I think,
he's got Ousmane Dembele sprinting at him, studs on the ball, left, right, bait the press, ball into the CDM. Like Konsa has got up another level, man. Konsa's another one. If we really, really wanted to, because I feel like it's a lot easier to get a good replacement centre back than maybe like a good replacement striker winger. I'm not saying that we should, but just for the sake of adding value to him, if we really wanted to, we could sell him for minimum 75 mil. Minimum. I think if we slapped a 75 million pound price tag on him, a lot of clubs would give us a call. Do you know what I'm saying?
I just want to see Gary's comment just on the game.
Thanks for going to Gary. Comments, bro.
Yeah, I was just going to put this one up. Gary said, thanks for joining, Gary. He said, our defence lost us the game. In that regard, I'm not sure that's the case.
True and false. I think it's true and false. I think it's true and false. Like first half, the defense, like Cash is outside of the line that we're playing. That's the defensive error, isn't it? And then the cross comes in, miscommunication, Pau, Martinez. Their first goal is defensive errors. Second goal, we're trying to go man for man press. We're pressing high. We have 5 players. Like, bro, against PSG at the Parc des Princes, we were passive, bro. We were in our 4-4-2 shape. And we had McGinn and Rodgers just like, you go run, you just keep running. With Rashford up front as well. But we weren't like inviting like all our players to go and press them. For their second goal, bro, we had about 5 or 6 guys in their half trying to like put pressure onto them, even pressing their goalkeeper as well. So can you say that's defensive errors? No, that's just Paris Saint-Germain just being really good at playing out of a press because they're so used to it 24/7 and they've got elite players. So I think the first goal... just to finish his point. Sorry, the first goal I'd say defensive error. Yeah, I agree with that. Second goal, it's more tactical. Like it is what it is. We were a goal down. We had to go for it.
Yeah, I just. And I go on, TJ.
Oh yeah, quick one. I was going to say as well, Gary. Like, what other team in the world? Like, you have to look at it like on variance. Like, if those 2 situations happened 100 times, what 2 right back and left back in the world are going to take both of those chances? You can't blame defenders because like one thing about football is that like players have a split second to think about everything. You can't blame our defense for letting Hakimi take a shot or letting Nuno Mendes take a shot, because if that situation happens 1,000 times over 1,000 different clubs, I promise you, like we go into half time 1-0 up. It's like, I get what you're saying, but I think you have to look at it in isolation. And also, when I'm talking about a defender, I'm not talking about their defensive capabilities. Like I think where we are at in football nowadays, defenders are normally no longer defenders. They are also attackers in a sense. And Konsa, Pau, Cash in the second half, Dean didn't really do anything. But Konsa and especially Cash in the second half, they helped us score.
Yeah, and they locked him.
And they locked him up. So when you're helping us score goals, especially Powell got an assist, puts the ball through to Asensio, Konsa gets a goal. When you're helping us score, even if you're a defender, I don't think you can say that they lost us the game, because at a bare minimum, they at least put us back on the level playing field where one centre back gets an assist and the other centre back gets a goal. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, and I thought even like Barcola was getting that Cash first half, and I want to put Cash out because I think he's a big one in this. Barcola was getting that Cash first half and he was causing problems, but I think second half, Cash on Kvaratskhelia locked him out. He did nothing, absolutely nothing in that second half. He was trying to cut inside, these shots were getting blocked. He was losing the ball and turning it over. I think it's hard with a team like PSG. I think it's hard to blame the defense, because when I watch PSG against other top European sides, they do exactly the same thing to them. It's just that they were clinical against us. Against those other sides, they could score as many goals, but they just weren't as good, especially like Liverpool and Atletico. If you look at the statistically, they had the same stats, if not worse, more in their favour. It's just that they weren't as clinical in those scenarios, and that's the variance. I don't think you could put that on the defence.
I urge any Villa fan to go watch the PSG versus Liverpool first leg and go look at what PSG did to the team that are about to win our league title. Because if it wasn't for Harvey Elliott and VVD playing well,
and Alisson PSG would have been the best keeper ever
in that. Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like, that's the difference. Alisson is, Villa fans might not like this, but Alisson is a much better keeper than Emiliano Martinez today. And then obviously, like Liverpool, player for player, they've probably got a bit more quality. But look what PSG did against Liverpool. Liverpool got one goal against PSG in about 120 minutes of game time, and we got 4. Like,
and
we need to
XG
more than that. Is what 210? It's 210 because they only scored in Paris. So that's 90-90, and then extra 30. It's 210 minutes. One goal,
bro. The XG conceded might be similar to like what Liverpool gave up to PSG as well, and PSG just scored one goal because they couldn't finish.
Exactly. Exactly. It's just variance. Yeah.
Like Liverpool conceding one goal and Villa conceding 5 goals. If you look at the XG, man, it's probably like identical. You wouldn't even be able to guess which team conceded, if that makes sense. Because if you line it up, so it is what it is, man.
I was just want to say that I saw just going to XG and that, and the numbers in comparison over 2 legs. I think PSG were like 4.05 and we were like 3.86. And
half
Liverpool comparatively, and Liverpool was like, PSG were 5 and Liverpool were like 1.5. And theirs was 1-1 and ours was 5-4. Like, it's variance at the end of the day.
Do you know what?
And that's why I can't blame the defence. I can't, because I just think...
Whoever said that we'll win the title next season, maybe they're onto something.
Maybe
they're at like... do you know what I mean? If we can translate this type of ability to play at a specific level, because that's what splits us between Liverpool. That's the 30 points between us and Liverpool. Liverpool can play at that level basically every week, whereas us, like, we've dropped some absolute stinkers this season, absolute stinkers. So if we can do that consistently, then wow, what can we not do? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, facts.
Yeah,
I agree.
I just want to, just quickly, I just want to talk about like our fullbacks, and in terms of like for summer, I think now, hopefully, like, not even just gonna say Villa fans, but like, I don't know, fans in general, like, just see like how important fullbacks are to your system in the modern game, and how you just need guys that can attack as well as they can defend. And I do think for summer, as good as Cash was second half, and as solid as defensively as Dean's been at times this season, I just think the next level for Villa now is if we upgrade in our fullback area and getting real quality. Because obviously Garcia will be Garcia has been brought in. He's like an I don't know, how would they see Garcia, one for the future maybe, in terms of like his development as well,
develops
and the minutes that he's getting. But if say, let's just say, if Cash was to be moved on, if we go out and like sign a top quality right back, I just think that's so game changing for our team and the things that we can do. Like, I think that is the next level if you were to look at our squad right now. Because I think if you swap now I don't want to discredit our fullbacks too much, but if you swap Hakimi and Mendes, I think we smoked on both games. Like, I'm so serious.
Yeah.
I think it's a completely different. I think that was the difference. Obviously, their midfield first leg was incredible, but second leg it weren't as good. Like second leg, our midfield was quality. Like Onana, Kamara, and Tielemans. So he was margins in this leg.
Look at what Arsenal did to Real Madrid, because Real Madrid's fullbacks were it was Alaba and what's his name?
Vasquez.
Not Vasquez.
Or Valverde.
Valverde,
right? Yeah.
Look at the difference between Real Madrid and PSG. I'm not saying that Real Madrid would have gone and won that game at the Emirates, but if they had Mendy, and I don't really like Carvajal, but he actually knows how to play right back, unlike Vasquez and Valverde, then it's a much different game. Because look at what Saka, the amount of like chances that Saka had to go up against Alaba. Like, if we can go out and get an elite right back, we've got the left back, I think, in Maatsen, but I would move Dean on, because I think at this moment in time we can get value for Dean. I'm Dean's. Do you know what I mean? I'm not a Dean fan in the slightest. Dean is very good at trying really hard. He tries really hard, and I appreciate that. And he's very good at dead ball kind of free kicks, but also when he's just got time to pick out a cross, he's very good at those two things. Those two things, in my opinion, they are not of value for where we want to go. I would move Dean on, and I'll get in a left back that can still do what Dean can do, because you can these days find left backs who have got the technical ability of a Luka Dean whilst having much better athletic prowess, much better physicality, and they can actually get past the player. But one thing I will say to Dean is that he's one of the most intelligent players that I've seen, because he is very limited. But he still is able to, do you know what I mean? He still was able to be serviceable for Unai Emery. And then right back, again, I would move on Cash, and I would have loved Gertruda. I don't know if he'll be available this season, but like, to really complement Garcia, get an ultra physical right back. Like, doesn't need to be the best technically, but just get someone who is ultra physical and is not going to get beat and is going to help you move up the pitch. Because as quick over short spaces as Matty Cash is, sometimes you can, like, he'll run up with a ball and you can see in his mind he's going, I'm not taking you on, because I just can't do that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I just wanted to touch on Gary Howlett's comment. He goes, Ned's not the answer then. Nedeljkovic is such a weird one, because rumours from Germany, they're signing him, Leipzig, on a permanent. They have a buy option that would have been put in by Villa. Was that just PSR, like, moving amortization type deal? Like, can we just get like a quick 5 million onto the books, move on? We've signed Garcia. Is he the replacement for Ned? Admit that he didn't work out, and then try and move on a player as quickly as possible. These type of like young negotiations you have to do for PSR nowadays to like cook the books a little bit. That's how it's looking now. I think in future we're going to see more signings like that probably aren't made to like start for Villa long term and are just meant to be sold on, even if they don't play too much. I think the better example of that was Finn Azaz, who never played a game for Villa, and we made like 4 million off him, I think, in the end, from just loaning him out places. So I think that's like Nedeljkovic is that one, but just on a higher level, because I actually think he's a decent player personally for his age. Like, he's starting for Leipzig now. I could see him going on to be like a quality player personally. But yeah, I think we'll sell Nedeljkovic. And as for Reece James, I couldn't see Reece James coming to Villa now.
Mad with Nedeljkovic, because I think when Nedeljkovic grows into his body, he's going to be a physical monster.
He's 19 as well, man. 19,
he just needs time to develop. But it'd be interesting to see how he's
19 starting for Leipzig, like. Yeah, I think he's solid. Gary also says Ealing Jr. is doing well at left wing back at Middlesbrough. This is interesting as well. Carrick playing Ealing Jr. at left back. If Ealing Jr. wants to be a left back for the rest of his career and accepts that, I think he could play Prem. I think he could play top half, maybe top of the bottom half Prem at left back, because I think his physique's perfect for it. He can win his aerial duels if they go long to his side. He's got pace. And in our system, when he was playing on the left, he's not a player that's going to be receiving the ball in the pockets like Ramsey does, being able to turn, being pressed. Like, that is not his game. He needs to be hogging the touchline from the out and then attacking his man 1v1, getting to the byline and crossing or cutting back. So I think left back maybe doesn't make it at Villa, I don't know, but I think left back would suit his game a lot more probably.
Yeah, I think it's very telling that Michael Carrick has gone, you're not good enough to play left wing or right wing in my team either. I've watched a few England junior matches this year, and I think he's found his level. I think if we can get some type of money from him from a championship team, maybe one of these teams that gets relegated, 10 million, 15 million, I think that's his ceiling. Maybe in the future he develops into a player, but I think right now for where we are, I don't think we need that type of baggage.
I hear that, and we've seen like sales like Cameron Archer and how good that they've been to recoup that sort of money in those at those times and do it again as well. It can work out for the better. It really can. So you have to be open to it just to see future planning and the players we can then bring in off the back of doing those deals. That's why you have to. I feel like now with this transfer policy, you just have to be open-minded. Just take it for as it is. Because
genuinely, like, any player could be sold. I think that's how Villa operate now. I think my brothers just cut out their eyes back. But bro, do you think our players now are going to have the appetite to get back into the Champions League straight away after last night, in terms of through the league? Like, do you think that's still going to be? It's going to be like, make sure now we get top 5.
Oh, don't think your mics. Can you hear him?
Yeah, your mic, Reece, your mic's not on. Sorry, your mic's not on. You. TJ, what do you think? Do you think the players are going to have like the appetite now just to get top 5 after experiencing the heartbreaker last night?
I think so. Yeah, I think they've always had the appetite. To be honest, like you could tell from back when Jacob Ramsey was like, "It's just Conference League." Do you know what I mean? You could tell that these players knew that they were good enough to get the Champions League. So I think they will have the appetite. It's just if they can have the appetite consistently enough. Like I said to one journalist once, who's covering like Aston Villa at the moment, he was like, "Oh, what's one question that you want to ask? Like one question that you could ask Unai Emery?" And I was like, "How do you gauge the motivation of every individual player in the team, and then 2, how do you use their motivations to kind of funnel it into the one main motivation of getting into the Champions League, because we know we're good enough to do that, and then winning a trophy?" Because I think when you look around our team, it's very clear that certain players have got different motivations. I don't think Leon Bailey has got the same motivations as Ollie Watkins. And I don't think Ollie Watkins has got the same motivations as Andre Onana, who's got the same motivations as Pau Torres. Whereas you look at other teams, like a Liverpool, and it's really only Trent and Chiesa that you would say outside of those guys, all of those players were motivated this season to win the Premier League title. Or you look at Arsenal, and Arteta is very good at compounding everyone's motivation into that one motivation of winning the Premier League, because you see it on the pitch. But with Villa, I think because we don't have the financial power or the international clout to get players that are going to very seamlessly fit into our system, not just tactically but mentally, you do have to kind of get these players. Like, look at just how we've like bought players like Island Jr., or how we've bought players like Garcia, or how we've bought players like Asensio and Rashford. Like, these are players where we're taking a risk on their motivations to actually play for us. So to basically answer your question, I don't know. It really depends on the core of players that we've got next season. Because again, Tyrone Mings' motivation this season probably wasn't to get into the Champions League. It probably was to get a good run of games under his belt, first and foremost.
Yeah, to play 90 minutes without an injury. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it's really difficult to kind of gauge, is the team motivated? And I think a lot of us Villa fans, we can see that. It's why we get so frustrated at Villa Park when we're 0-0 down in the 70th minute to a team like Southampton, because we're like, why do we not seem motivated to go get the win? But I think it's because every player across that pitch is playing for a different reason. And I think as we kind of continue, I think that's what Emery needs to focus on. Because for all the bad things I can say about Luca Dean, for all the bad things I can say about Matty Cash, for all the negatives I can say about John McGinn this season, all those 3 players, their motivations have been very clear. They want to get as far as they can in the Champions League, and they want to win a trophy. Emiliano Martinez as well. And I think that's why a lot of fans will argue with someone like me when I say that Luca Dean is trash, because to them, Luca Dean might be trash, but they're seeing a player that whenever he steps out on the pitch, he is fully motivated to get in an achievement that us Villa fans want as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, if that's it. Bro, your mic still off. I think You might still off. I'll carry on. Okay, not to worry. Yeah, man. Shall I just go through some more comments? Gary wanted to know your thoughts on Naipan. Now, Naipan's is, me and my boy spoke about it on the last podcast. 18-year-old, I think he's still 18. Wonder kid, midfielder from the Norwegian league, plays for Rosenborg. Absolute quality, can carry the ball, can receive, can take a man on, can pass. Like, I don't want to glaze him too much, but he is a complete midfielder. And he's a talent, bro, that like I think clubs across all of Europe have wanted this guy. And it seems, I don't want to get too carried away yet, it seems like Villa are winning the race. Fabrizio did a YouTube video today saying that Villa have like won the race to sign him. The talks are going really well. And the player wants to sign for Villa. Like, what was your opinion on Naipan?
Literally the same. I'm just excited that we're now going in for these types of players because he's a blue chip talent. Like teams have been like sniffing around for him like for years. So the fact that we've actually won that race, I think this could be the equivalent of like a Boubacar Kamara. You know how every team was in for Boubacar Kamara, and then we managed to get him through somewhere or another, and then we got him, and everyone was like, "Oh, this is why every team in Europe wanted Boubacar Kamara." Do you know what I mean? So I would say like I'm just excited. He probably will need some time to kind of land, but I think if he does sign, from his first touch, we'll be able to see
Naipan. I've been saying people are going to get Naipan on their shirts. Like, it's going to take 2 games for people to consider getting Naipan on there. I think he's that type of player. And do you know what I like about it as well? Everyone in the Prem wants Tyler Diblin, and we've gone, you know what? We don't want to get involved in that bidding war with Tyler Diblin. Yeah. We've seen some of the fees ridiculous. Why don't we just go sign Naipan, who I think could be as good, if not better, than Diblin? Like Russell Martin was on a podcast the other day, said Diblin's going to be a number 8 and a 10. That's how he sees him. Naipan's a number 8. He can play as a 10 as well. Have we just been really clever here and just gone, you know what, forget Diblin, we'll just go for this kid instead? So yeah, I love that whole. This is what I wanted to see more of, getting these types of like young talents. Like the fans are excited already about him. So yeah, I don't know what your thoughts are as well, bro, on Naipan.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a 6 signing if all goes well and we get it over the line. And it's for the fee. I've seen reported potentially of £15 million. I think that's for the potential he offers and the level he can get to. Yeah, I think that could be one we could be seeing in a few seasons' time. As how did Villa manage to pull that one off, and be an absolute statement signing. So yeah, that one excites me. Really excites me. And as you said, bro, you made a great point there. Looking for alternatives in the market who have the same potential, but they're a third of the fee or, a quarter of the fee. I think that's the best way for where we're at now to just keep getting to that next level. Because it's going to go one of 2 ways. Either it brings more money into the club or you're going to have an absolute superstar in your hands.
100%.
Facts. Yeah, bro. Yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to cover, or do you think that's it?
No, nothing else from me unless you two got anything else you want to add to it at all. But no,
I just want to say, just take pride from the performance last night, and just know we can go into any game now in the 90 minutes and beat any team on our day. We just beat PSG, who everyone in Europe has been saying is the best team in the world right now, so, or the best team in Europe, whatever. So we've just beaten them. Obviously, we got knocked out of the tie.
Sorry, bro. That's what I was going to say before cut off, and TJ was making a great point about the motivation. I think the one thing that aligned last night, second half, was the motivation with all the players. I think that aligned, especially in the part of the comeback. They all felt like they could do it, and especially when McGinn scored, it felt like, right, we can actually do this. And that's why I thought it seemed like there was a connection, and there was like the unity, and they all had one goal. They thought they could do this, and you've got to try and bottle that now. And have as many players as possible have that same focus going into all these games coming up as well, which is difficult because, as TJ made a great point, you don't know the situations of some players. Some players might be thinking they're off to other clubs as well at this time of the season. It's tough to gauge that. So if we can just bottle that and continue with it, we definitely have a good chance of getting Champions League football. And
do you know what I loved? I love the composure. I love the composure from Ezri Konsa. Like, we've seen the other day, like Declan Rice getting a stick for scoring at Old Trafford and running to the corner flag when Denman needed another goal to win the game. Like, Konsa, no celebration, no caught in the moment. Literally pointed at Hakimi, I think, or the keeper or whatever, back to goal. let's go get that. Let's go back
Mentality.
to the halfway line and let's score. Like,
Yeah.
I love that mentality. Our players trying to
McGinn
grab
as
the
well.
ball off Nuno Mendes. Like,
Yeah.
McGinn as well.
I think McGinn,
bro.
Konsa
No,
just
I
both
love
ran back.
that.
They didn't even like. It didn't even set in their head that it was just like no.
They just wanted to.
Like,
They wanted to play, innit?
Yeah, which is mad against PSG. That's mad to say because not many teams would want to do that.
Like we had chances. Like, okay, we just didn't score in it, but that's not you losing yourself in the moment. Like, you're not.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't get like, I don't know. We didn't like lose composure. I don't feel like we lost our composure. We still created enough chances to like take it to extra time, and that's all you can really ask for. Obviously, okay, we petered off in the last like 10 minutes, but Tielemans is a massive chance. The Konsa free headers a massive chance. Like, Asensio is a massive chance 1v1. That's enough for me to like be like, okay, it just weren't meant to be in it, but at least we like created still.
I think that's the biggest thing to take from it is that I don't think I've ever seen Villa play against a team that good, being so in the mud and show that heart and mentality to get back into the game. I don't think I can remember seeing that. Okay, we played teams from the start like Man City in the league, you know, when we dominated and we battered that Pep side who had just won the treble. The game state was different. I've never seen us in that game state and come back. It's like when Man City won the league against us when we were playing them and then we were 2-0 up. It was like a roles reversed. It felt like we were the big side, yeah. And I don't think I've ever seen Villa be like that in that second half. And I just hope we can just continue that then. So at any point they feel like even if 1-0, 2-0 down against any side, we can still come back and win this game.
That is mad. That was actually our Man City Villa, wasn't it? I've just clocked that actually. Just didn't win the title at the end. We just get knocked out of the Champions League. That is like so Villa, isn't it? But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that final point. It is like carry on, TJ. Sorry.
Oh no, I was going to say I don't know about you guys, but like I'm definitely going to be telling like my grandkids and my kids, I'm going to be like, yeah, we beat PSG. If they'll be like, oh, what was the semi-final like? I was like, no, don't worry about the semi-final. Don't worry about the semi-final.
Yeah, facts.
Look at this one game. Look at this 90 minutes.
In isolation.
We beat PSG 3-2.
Yeah, facts.
The season got cancelled after he was out of Villa's hands. But yeah, I just thought last night was so funny. Like supporting Villa, it's almost like they give you enough hope, but ultimately you just for that little bit short. Like I think like the Liverpool semi-final, FA Cup, they give you that hope. And then the final happens. The Man City game, we have the Engels header. Like you get that hope, and then ultimately it just doesn't. That's why I just really want to win this FA Cup now. Put that in not falling at the final hurdle to bed. I want to see armpits, man, as League One would say. But I want to see trophies lifted. Like
facts.
Be a perfect season if we lift that FA Cup.
100%.
Yeah,
FA Cup.
It is.
I was gonna say, yeah, FA Cup. If we finish top 5, I think we'll finish top 5. I think Forest are going to fall out of it. But if we can get FA Cup top 5, this will be the best Villa season I've ever seen.
Ever seen by some margin.
Yeah,
definitely.
And now also, look, we've only got to focus on 2 competitions now. Realistically, because like obviously there's only 2 games until we see who's going to win the FA Cup. This is the first time. This is the first time, pretty much. Yeah, that's wild. This is the first time in maybe like 2-3 years where we only have to focus domestically. Obviously, we got knocked out by Olympiacos, but that was like right at the end of the season. That was what, game week 36. Yeah. So this is the first time in a good couple of years where we just have to focus domestically. And obviously, the domestic competition is the FA Cup, which is only 2 games. So Unai Emery, as angry as he might be that he's lost, he might be looking at like this squad now where everyone's now coming back into fitness. And he's like, we can have a really good go at the Premier League now. Like I don't need to worry about the fact that we're playing on Tuesday, Wednesday. There might be double game weeks still, but do you know what I mean?
Not travel or Europe or sides we know as well. It's not
exactly. Yeah. And we're only going Wembley. That's 2 hours on the road. Do you know what I'm saying? Like we've already played Newcastle away, thankfully. So I think now going into the end of the season, and we've picked up form at the right time as well. So
yeah. Peaking at the right time. Like yesterday was a win on the books. That's what I like. The momentum's carried on. Like, the game at Villa
That's
Park.
a good point.
Yeah, it's feeling very championship promotion seasony. You know that feeling around the club where everyone's like, "Oh, something's going to happen here." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Facts. And you were saying, you made a great point, like regarding the form and going into it. We've still been in great form anyway in the league. Like that's what's mad as well. It's like the last 4 games, win, and some tough fixtures as well within that. So it's just carrying that on. And now we have the opportunity. Europe's not a factor anymore. It's just, as you said, domestic.
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to win it? Champions League. Obviously, we're out of it now. We have to watch as neutrals. But just any predictions? Like, who do you think is going to win it?
I'm going to be mad. I'm going to say Barcelona.
Yeah, that was my pick as well, Barca.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about them, but like, I think Barcelona have got everything that PSG have, but it's Barcelona. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they've got the 2
exactly
wingers that can like do a madness, and that's another thing that Barcelona have got. Like, fair enough, Lewandowski's 36 years old, but like you don't want to give him chances because he's going to put them away. Do you know what I mean? So I'll say Barca. That's your pick as well, isn't it?
Yeah, Barca. I think my brother's like to go again, but I'll just wrap up some comments here. Steve says, yes, boys, still buzzing after last night. TJ, please explain how Dembele got man of the match. I don't know how that. McGinn was right there, or Donnarumma. Like, man, Dembele was like, move from me, man. What are you trying to give me that trophy for on the pitch? And it's like, do that in the dressing room. I don't want people to see me with that. Like, he knows he didn't deserve it.
He does. Bro. You wait for officials, man. They're not trying to give man like John McGinn credibility. Do you know what I mean? They don't want that to be in the history books.
Facts. Steve says Konsa had Dembele in his back pocket. Paul says these PSG channel fans annoy me. They may be little Villa. They really don't respect us. To be fair, a couple PSG fans were humbled. They were saying credit to Villa because they made them sweat after initially disrespecting us. So that was good to see. And Paul says, yeah, he's going for Inter Milan, bro. Who's your Champions League pick before we wrap it up? I don't think your mic's on. I think you're on mute, bro. Okay. It is what it is, man. But
I think he said PSG. If I'm lip reading,
I think that's in PSG. He's still not on, bro.
Wait, not if you said PSG.
No. Did you say PSG? No. What, we're gonna go process elimination? What?
Barcelona?
Inter? Arsenal. Real Madrid. You know what? Are you saying remontada tonight?
Oh, Arsenal. Oh man, no, don't. It's
this guy hates Arteta as well. He's saying Arsenal. Well, always got the French spirit. He's miming now. Duncan saying PSG. Kevin saying PSG. Yeah. Anyways, TJ, bro, it's been a pleasure having you on. We're gonna wrap up the podcast there. Thanks for all you joining. We appreciate you guys, the community, as ever. On what was Villa's biggest night in my lifetime, watching that. Like, that was a pleasure to be at that game. So sick. But yeah, if you can like the video, if you haven't already, subscribe if you're new here. We want to try and get to 1,000 subscribers. We're on 953, I think, right now. So what's that? 47 quick maths. Before the Crystal Palace semi-final, can we get 1,000 subscribers? That would be cold for that. But yeah, thanks for joining us as always. TJ, anything you want to promote or plug before we leave?
Yeah, if you like American football, go follow American TJ. And if you like football, just go follow Foot Now on all pages, and up the Villa as always. Yeah,
big up your content. Your content's really good, really, really sick. I watch it all the time. And bro, do you wanna? Is your mic back on? Or is it?
No.
Yeah, you're done. All right, see you guys later. And yeah, up the Villa.